Hello everyone, Reggie Time here, and I just wanted to have a quick look at a hand that I played last night. I think it was the most interesting hand of the session, and get your guys' feedback on it, what you think about the hand, what you think about my line, what you think about my opponent's line. We're going to pause it before the results so people are actually result orientated in what happens. The main villain in the hand is going to be seat 7 here. Seat 3 was also in the hand. I've got his stack size wrong, it's only a £6 stack, which is why I raised ace 9 suited from middle position. We're playing 5-handed. I don't think it's a bad raise anyway, but I don't always raise this hand from this position, but because a fish was in the blinds, then I did. So we raised the 3x, seat 7 call. Seat 7 was somebody who was playing kind of like a reg stats, not like a regular, but he was only playing one table, so not really sure what to make of him. I wasn't aware of him before the session. He was one table in, but he wasn't playing like a fish. He was playing like a regular, so who knows. He was playing one table for the whole time. It wasn't like he was just getting a session started. So yeah, it's a strange situation. We flopped up there with the c-bet with the fish in the blinds. Bear in mind that the fish only has £6. Looking to, if he wanted to get it in, I would have got it in with him. But seat 7 calls, seat 3 folds. Get the turn, pick up a flush draw. Sometimes I might not want to c-bet this turn because we're going to be owning ourselves against like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, maybe even pocket queens. Something like that, but we pick up a flush draw, so I'm not too worried. I think we can certainly continue betting for thin value, and if we get raised, we don't necessarily have to fold. So I bet 180. My opponent raised to just 480, which I thought was kind of a small raise, given the pot size. It's not that big over my raise in terms of like the pot size. It's even smaller. Things didn't smell right to me really. I kind of thought if you did have a 5, then why would you raise to begin with, I guess? If you had a full house, pocket 3s, then again, maybe you would want to raise, but you'd want to raise bigger possibly for more value. The size looked kind of weird to me. I didn't really sure what it meant. You know, maybe some people sometimes do this with a hand like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, sometimes worse 9x, just to check back rivers. I've seen this line many times. You shouldn't do it, but I've seen tons of guys do it. So I was kind of thinking maybe we get to call and just go check on the river sometimes too. So I don't think 3-betting would do us many favours here. I just think he's not going to fold at many better hands. And he's certainly not going to fold any better hands, so I should say. He's not going to call with worse very often either. I guess there's some draws he could maybe do it with, but no. I think raising wouldn't make any sense. So I called. River is not the scariest card in the deck. I mean, 8-7 just got there, but that's about it. Why would someone raise 8-7 on the turn and not raise it on the flop if they were that way inclined? I guess. Who knows? I'm not really sure where it was at in the hand, to be completely honest with you, when we come to this river. And I was kind of hoping that my opponent just shut down or made a really large bet. And he didn't. He made kind of just over half pot size bet. And I kind of thought it was a bit of a dicey spot. You know, if he'd have shoved, I think I would have folded. If he'd made a smaller bet, I think I would have snapped it off. This sizing, I wasn't really sure. I didn't know much about him. I hadn't seen him getting out of line, but he didn't seem super like weak tight either. Yeah, I just wasn't really sure where we were in the hand against unknown. And this is kind of one of the problems when you play on fishier sites. You're going to play a lot more unknowns who, over a small sample size, might be playing tighter than they usually play. So he could be like a lot looser and spewy than I first thought. He could be a lot weaker and tighter than I first thought. I just didn't know. And this is the problem with playing unknowns on a site like Sky, especially, where you can find some quite bad aggressive non-regular players, but you can also find some really loose passive non-regular players. So I didn't really know on there. So my thoughts really were, what do we do here? Is it one of the best hands we can have? So we call always. Do we just fold it because we've got 2 clubs? We block a lot of the draws he could have. I wasn't really sure what to do. I'm not going to say what I ended up doing, but I'd like to see what you guys would have done. Would you play it in differently? Would you just called the turn, for example? I don't think that would have been great, but it's certainly viable. Would you have raised the turn, thinking that really, the raise size looks like bullshit, let's try and get it in against worse draws? Would you have blocked the river? Would you have just put a defensive bet out on this river, thinking that he's not going to raise you with a hand like pocket jacks, pocket 10s, and maybe you get called by pocket 8s sometimes? Who knows? There's lots of options on this river. I decided to take a check and then face this bet. What would you have done? How would you have played the hand any differently at any streets? Any comments at all? please just please let me hear them. I'd be delighted to hear them, and hope you guys find this hand interesting. I certainly found it interesting when I was playing it. Bye bye for now.